Hi guys, Geedrew64 here, and today we're talking physical media once again. Sorry I didn't get a video last week up, but that's because I was traveling, and I actually went to Nebraska, which marked the 38th state that I've been to, so just 12 left to go to have visited all 50 states, so that's pretty cool. But I wanted to share with you guys a couple places that I went that had some physical media. I made it a point to try and find some of these stores with physical media and actually film. Now, normally when I travel, I do that, but I don't never film anything for it. But in this case, I actually did do some filming, so that's what I'll be sharing here in this video. Most of the videos I'll be sharing with you guys, I will be overdubbing based on the fact that there's music playing, and I need to cover that up mainly. But there are a few clips where I'll just let it play when I'm having a conversation or whatnot. But regardless, I did want to share with you guys that there's still physical media out there. It's just a matter of trying to find where it is, and this was what I found in Nebraska. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So the first place that I went was actually Omaha. That's the main airport in Nebraska. So that's the one that I flew into. And I checked to see what I could find around Nebraska. And I found a store called PopCulture Exchange. You can see the storefront right here. I didn't do any video. I just took a picture of the storefront. But I do have some video inside. So let's go ahead and move into some of the footage that I took while I was inside. So the first thing I found was this little section up at the register, which had a few different movies up front. And I asked him if there were any steelbooks, and he picked out a little stack of steelbooks he had behind the counter. We got Last Jedi, which I don't like. Shazam, I already have. Aquaman, I already have. Wonder Woman, I already have. And Justice League, I already have. So I already had all of those steelbooks. Now here I am flipping through some laser discs. Certain movies I'd like to find some laser discs. No, I don't have a laser disc player. I just think getting different formats of physical media is cool, and I came across this copy of Babe, which I wanted.
Well, I definitely need to get Babe on Laserdisc. Not a joke. I really love that one.
That's not a joke either. I saw that in theaters. I love it. I showed it to my kid. My wife loves it. It's a great movie.
What's that? Oh, Babe, I remember that.
Yeah. And the person I was talking with there, his name was Candy, and he was the owner of the shop. Now, one thing I can say about him is he knew a lot about movies. I don't remember the last time I had a one-on-one conversation with someone who knew that much about movies, who arguably knew more about movies than I did. There's obviously lots of people out there that do. I'm not considering myself some subject matter expert, but in my daily life, finding people one-on-one conversations face-to-face, I don't even remember the last time I came across somebody who knew as much about movies as I did. And so he particularly knew a lot about different filmographies and directors and stuff like that, which is what I like to talk about. I have friends who like movies, and we can talk about movies, but we don't really talk about directors. They're not familiar with actors and directors and that kind of thing. So getting to talk with him about that in the shop was really cool. It definitely reminded me of when I was younger, going to the comic book store and talking about the new comic book movies that were coming out with other fans, back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and so it was a really cool experience going to visit this shop. And let's get back to some footage.
That was his first American film, and he went on to do some amazing stuff.
Oh man, I just got Dirty Harry on 4K. They just came out with a 4K release.
I used to own a couple of Dirty Harrys on 16, but I sold them to buy other stuff.
And here it is. I found Bad News Bears. This is a CED, which I mentioned in a previous physical media video. I actually had some CEDs there. I remember when I used to work at Blockbuster, obviously.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I never even heard about it. They looked like I had like crabs crawling out of my eyeballs because I didn't know what the movie was. Like, how do you not know you work at a movie store? And that actually happened quite a bit whenever I first started working at Blockbuster, because I always considered myself a movie buff, but there was lots of movies, obviously, as a kid that I wasn't allowed to watch, other rated R movies, and things that I wasn't interested in whenever I was a kid. So working at Blockbuster and having people judge me for not seeing certain movies made me want to go and see what the fuss was about. And so I actually discovered a lot of movies when I worked at Blockbuster. Now here's some old cards that I came across, and obviously there's Batman, Black Hole, Terminator, Addams Family, but the thing I was most excited about was Harry and the Hendersons. I love Harry and the Hendersons. It's one of the earliest movies I remember watching from when I was like a kid, like 3 years old. I remember watching Harry and the Hendersons. It was the first VHS that I remember us owning. And so seeing those cards I thought was really cool. Now, here were some vinyls that I did come across. Now, most of these were kind of soundtracks, which is what I was looking for anyway. Looking to see what I found here. I found Guardians of the Galaxy, which I've seen at Target a lot, but hadn't actually picked it up. Let me pause it real quick. So we're about to talk about Sinners. Candy brings up Sinners, which is a new Ryan Coogler movie that just came out. And then we started talking about some other Ryan Coogler movies. So I just thought this, again, talking about these movies reminded me of like working at Blockbuster and just having these casual conversations.
Sinners, I like that one.
I really want to go check that one out.
Good. I like Ryan Coogler a lot, though. I enjoyed Fruitvale Station. I like the Creed movies. I'm not gonna lie, I think his worst film is Black Panther. Not that it's a bad movie, but it's probably the one I like the least.
I agree with you, actually.
Which is kind of wild because I'm like, it was probably his most successful. But Creed, I slept on Creed for a second. You know, I didn't watch it for maybe the first few years it was out. Even though I had it, I was just like, oh, I'll watch that eventually. Then when I popped it in, I was like impressed. I was like, this is like watching Rocky for the first time. It's from a different side of the tracks, so I like that. And I love the Rocky movies, so I like all of them.
And here we go, a whole wall of movies there on the far side, which was really cool to see that. I mean, it was like visiting somebody's collection in their house. Like my collection, if I actually had it laid out that way, I kind of wanted those shelves, to be honest. So there's still physical media stores out there. It's just a matter of trying to track them down. And I also have to say, from talking with Candy I was there for over an hour. It was a good amount of time for over an hour. I actually only spent 20 minutes actually looking through everything, and then the 40 minutes I was just chatting about, movies. And I definitely feel like if he was around in the 90s, he would have just have a movie store, but you can't really have just a movie store right now in 2025, so you really have to diversify. But you can clearly tell movies, I think, are his passion, at least from talking to him, and so I'm glad that he keeps physical media here. Now, did I find anything? Well, we'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Abed, what did I tell you? You can't just mumble nonsense. No one's cutting away.
Okay, fine.
Here are some Star Trek figures that I found, some old ones. I've never been a fan of the Playmate Star Trek figures, but I am a huge Star Trek fan, and I thought it was cool at least to see these old figures. He even had a little section for new release Blu-rays and some dollars. Yeah, one buy one, get one for $1. I wish I could have found something, but I don't really get DVDs anymore. There's another section with some more Blu-rays. This is all just like TV. So I was really impressed by the amount of movies that he actually had, even more than what I originally thought. So this was like a family section. It's some more TV, DVDs. Here was a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie poster that I really wanted, but I couldn't fit it in the bag, obviously traveling by airline. This was like a little nook that was in the corner. You had like some wood plaques, I guess, that were like kind of homemade, and some NECA figures there with some gargoyle stuff. I own all the gargoyles figures. Back here, there's a little, went back to the DVD section to see if I could find something. I found this Bourne Ultimatum DVD, a steelbook. So thought that was kind of interesting. So that's all the footage I have at PopCulture Exchange there in Omaha. I will share with you guys what I picked up at the end of the video. But the other place that I visited was actually in Lincoln, which is about an hour or so drive from Omaha. And it was a place called Toys from the Past. And it was kind of cool because the logo was actually in the Back to the Future font, which was definitely eye-catching when I was trying to find places like that. Now, I didn't expect to really find any movies here, but I actually did find some movies here. But I was just interested to see a lot of the retro toys. So I'll show you guys some of the footage that I got. So as you can see, look at all these Blu-rays. I did not expect to see this many Blu-rays in a toy store. I was actually pretty shocked. The pricing wasn't too unreasonable either. Most of these were about $5 to $7. There were a few higher priced ones that were kind of rarer stuff. The Star Trek series there was $20 on Blu-ray for the original series. Hulk Versus, that one was $10. That was about $5. I might have got it because I only have it on DVD. I mean, just a lot of stuff there. I didn't really find many steelbooks. I think I found one steelbook. There's the Redemption Star Trek on Blu-ray, which is 2 episodes of Star Trek that they just put out on Blu-ray. But you can see, just a lot of stuff here. I kind of wanted to get this X-Files, the event series, but that one was $17, a little high priced. Even some DVDs down in the boxes down here. So a lot of stuff. Now you're going to see a lot of toys popping up. You see like some Xena figures. There's a Waldo, but I was really shocked to see this Steve Irwin toy.
Ooh, danger, danger, danger.
And here were some pretty cool little cases that I found. This one was for the N64, and then this one was for the Game Boy, which I did think about getting. There was this cool storage container down here for Nintendo 64 as well, but again, it wouldn't survive the airline. And I just wanted to record, like, there was multiple different glass cases with all kinds of, toys. This section was like Marvel. Mostly all Marvel Legends. If you're a toy collector, I used to collect Marvel Legends when I was younger. I've got a lot of the Toy Biz Marvel Legends, and I just thought it was cool just seeing them displayed this way. You can see a lot of them, even loose, are pretty expensive. That Pit figure back there was $300 because it was a Build-A-Figure, so pretty hard to find. Completed. And here were some PlayStation 1 games. I actually did find this Star Trek Invasion, which I'd never heard about. Again, I'm a big Star Trek fan, so I was surprised to see that. And there were some PSP movies down here. I thought about getting them. They weren't too expensive. I kind of just wanted to get Office Space. I didn't end up picking up one. I kind of regret it. Again, trying to get different formats of movies. I should have thought about that when I was looking at this and at least picked up that Office Space. I thought that was really cool. Or Sin City. Some more Star Trek stuff that I found at this store, which I was actually really surprised to find, was this Enterprise Broken Bow Deluxe. I didn't even know it existed. Again, some, old Playmate stuff, some stuff from the J.J. Abrams movies, just stacks of Star Trek's like Playmates, toys down here, even a couple books. And there's Harry Kim and Species 8472 from Voyager, which I thought was pretty nice. Actually, that Star Trek Broken Bow figure I wanted to get, but I was pretty low on space, so I just had to not get it because I didn't want to try and shove it into my bag. Also got some Ninja Turtles, like every case here, and I've got a lot of the NECA Turtles. I've got the big NECA Turtles, the 12-inch. I kind of wanted to get these Secret of the Ooze, the 2-pack, but $180 was a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. And I did take a few pictures as well. So this is a picture of the old Star Wars watches. These were from Burger King. And I actually have all of these already. I had never seen them out in the wild. So it's just kind of interesting to see something that was so old, like just out at a store for people to find. And here's another picture. I needed to take a picture of ants. I'd never seen an ants figure in my life. Right next to Tomb Raider. I guess that's where ants belongs. But I just had to take a picture of that. I took a picture of this Primal Rage Raptor because I had it whenever I was a kid. And, mine, the little mohawk there on the back broke off and his back tail broke off and one of his legs broke off. As a kid, I was kind of rough with some of my toys, but it was cool seeing that one out in the wild. And out in the front, there was this pretty cool Elektra display. Elektra's not a good movie at all, but, Jennifer Garner's, Jennifer Garner. And I thought the display looked kind of cool with replicas of the size from the movie. $300, kind of high price, but again, I couldn't fit in my bag anyway. So that was all the footage that I took and pictures that I took. Not a lot there, but enough to where I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do a video and share with you guys my trip and why I didn't get a video done last week because I was traveling. And now I want to share with you guys what I actually picked up. So first thing I picked up was the CED of Bad News Bears. You saw me grab it in that video. I did go ahead and pick it up. $5 for this one, the original Bad News Bears, which is still really good. So really happy to pick this one up and add it to some of the other CDs that I have just to celebrate different formats of physical media. Another one that I got was, you heard me mention it in the video, and that is Babe. I picked up Babe on Laserdisc, $5 for this one. You heard us talking about it in the video. Pretty happy to pick up this one. I only own one other Laserdisc, so this is actually just my second Laserdisc. Laserdisc players are very difficult to come by. Even if I did come across it, I don't know if I'd spend the money to pick one up. But it's just, again, it's cool just to get these other different formats of physical media. And you saw me grab it in the video, and that was the Guardians of the Galaxy Deluxe Edition vinyl. I do actually have a few vinyls. I've probably got about 15 or 20 vinyls at this point. And, I do actually play them. I do like, playing vinyls from time to time. And I didn't own this one. Great soundtrack, great cover here. I have a little display for vinyls, and this will look really good on my vinyl display. So happy to add that one to the collection as well. So that's everything that I picked up from the PopCulture Exchange. Let's move on to what I may or may not have picked up at Toys from the Past. So again, you saw me pick this up into the video when I was there, and that was the Star Trek Invasion on PlayStation 1. I still have my PlayStation 2 hooked up to an old CRT, so I can actually play this. I'm curious to just throw it in and just spend an hour or two just messing around with the game, to be honest. But I mainly just picked it up because I'm a Star Trek fan. Granted, most of the Star Trek games aren't that good, and I never even heard of this one, so I don't have high hopes. But I thought it was pretty good, and it was only $10. $10 at that Toys from the Past, so I was happy to grab that one. I do wish that I got that PSP movie of Office Space, though. I definitely missed out there. And the other thing I picked up, which you saw me grab in the video from Toys from the Past, I did grab that Nintendo 64 case. This is obviously a carrying case for the Nintendo 64. There's a little net here if you wanted to throw in controllers or whatever, or some games. A little divider there to keep your console safe. I just thought it was kind of cool. This is the kind of thing you don't really find very often. I really love the Nintendo 64. I still play the Nintendo 64 to this day. And so I was happy to pick this one up, and I'm going to put this in my retro room near my games. And the very last thing that I wanted to share with you guys was actually something that I found when I was out, but it wasn't in either of those stores. Something I thought about getting for a while, which was the Picard Season 3 soundtrack. It's no secret that I'm not a fan of new Trek, but I did like Picard Season 3. And I really like the soundtrack for Picard Season 3. I've actually listened to it several times on YouTube. Again, I've been kind of filling out some of my vinyl stuff. I think this will look really nice on the shelf for display purposes. Some really good tracks in here. It's all instrumental, and very impressed with the soundtrack. And I was pretty impressed with Picard Season 3. Now, some people still didn't like it, but I'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who would say that Picard Season 1 and 2 is better than Picard Season 3. I don't understand that. If you want more of my thoughts on Picard, I did review all the episodes of Picard Season 1 and Picard Season 2. I did start reviewing Picard Season 3, but I got very, very sick. After missing 3 weeks, I didn't do it weekly anymore, but I did do a full season review of Picard Season 3, so a little tangent there to talk about Picard Season 3. This video is all over the place. I just wanted to share with you guys my trip and what I found, and share with you guys some physical media, some stuff that I picked up. Again, a little bit of a different video than what I normally do. I guess this would be like a collection update video. I don't really know what to title this thing. I guess that's a future Geek Truth problem. I'm just here to film. So if you find yourself in the Nebraska area, I would recommend both of these stores. PopCulture Exchange is in Omaha, and Toys from the Past is in Lincoln, Nebraska, about an hour or so apart from each other. Really cool stores. And I actually did have pretty fun conversations with people from both stores. Obviously, we focused on movies at PopCulture Exchange, and at the toy store, we talked about some old toys. So yeah, had some cool conversations. Again, I guess this video's all over the place. Let's go ahead and wrap it up before I continue to ramble for another 5 minutes. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you for sticking around. Thank you, subscribers. All of you are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all the YouTube stuff or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm YouTube64, and I always tell you the truth.